Okay. Oh, what's shaking, folks? We're gonna wait for people to get in the chat. But anyways, okay. Anything prior to discharging the jury on behalf of the defendant, anything. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, thank you very much. You are discharged at this time. If you want to wait in the jury room, I'll meet with you later. With that, you're discharged. All rise. Okay. All right. Hey, we're chicken foods. You get what? 2 people. All right. It's 2 people. That's good. I know it's kind of early. I just woke up there not too long ago. Had a rough night. Too many dreams. Got too much to do. Not enough time, it seems. Not enough resources. Not enough people. Hey, Prairie. How are you? Get that coffee in you. I got my hot cocoa. I do the hot cocoa. I don't drink coffee anymore because I don't know. It's weird. I don't like the feeling anymore. And I like cocoa better. There's no crash. You actually got a lot of energy and you get no crash later. So it's awesome. It's great. You get the real hot cocoa, some real cocoa hot. So cacao. Cacao actually means god of the food or food of the gods. That's what it means. So I'm eating. I'm always making sure I got godly food in me. I got a godly mission. And not enough people. That's okay, Prairie. Sometimes, like a lot of people get to watch the live stream a little later. I just do it right now, just because I feel like I got things to share with people and reach out, and I got to let people know what I am doing, what my mission is. So you guys understand is that I've been at this for quite a while about learning about our construct of law in the world. So I've learned quite a bit about the law. I've been listening to a lot of great minds share their opinions and share their, their path. Guys like Robert Menard, there's Dean Clifford, Kenneth Cousins, there's Santos Bonacci. These are all great people to listen to give you a good understanding of our construct of law, understanding the history, the symbolism, because if you don't understand the symbolism, guys, you're not going to really understand Thailand. Oh, good morning, Ben. Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, if you guys don't understand symbols, you're really not going to understand the law very well, and you have to understand the history of, commerce and trade, things like that, understanding, like, how governments and royalty and all these people used to deal with each other, and it's all slavery if you think about it. Hey, not me. How you doing, buddy? All right. Yeah, I've seen you guys. I try to reply as much as I can to your messages. I do read them. So if you see that I put a love sign beside yours, because I read them and I appreciate the comments. I appreciate you guys coming in. And the reason why I'm doing this video today is to give you an understanding of my mission. And also I'm trying to get people out there to find the courage to do this, because strength in numbers, guys. If you're alone like myself trying to go out there and, deal with these people, you're not going to get anywhere, because what you're doing is, imagine if you're in a schoolyard and then you have, 2-3 bullies that got the whole school against you, even the teachers, the principals and stuff. Try to find remedy, trying to find recourse is just not going to work. You have to go try to get everyone else in the schoolyard to gather with you and say, hey, see, that's the bully. We got to take that guy out. And then also convince the rest of everyone that, hey, this guy is not the good guy, and that you should not be afraid of him, that you should join the side of truth, not fear. Okay? And that's what's happening today here, folks. Like, I see a lot of videos of just police misconduct, prosecutorial misconduct. These agents of the clown corporation, I like to call it. Okay, and like, just so you guys know, I got nothing but love and peace for these people. That the reason why I'm doing this, actually, I care about them because I fear for their afterlife. Okay, people fear for their lives. Well, I fear for their afterlife because I know where they're gonna go in the afterlife. These people, they keep perverting the law under color of law and then doing these kinds of things, perpetrating crimes against humanity while acting like you're supposed to be the moral guide. Big no-no, huge consequences. Okay, folks, you got to understand your mind, your spirit, your soul. That's all you have left. So if you're going to go around causing harm and injury to a lot of people while you're getting paid to put out the air that you're actually there to keep people safe and protected, you're gonna have big fucking problems. I promise. That's a promise. Okay. So just so you understand, my father was a law enforcement, so was my grandfather. I know the attitude very well. I know the mentality. A lot of the times, these people, they're not bad, horrible people. They can be. Don't get me wrong. I've heard horror stories, but what it is just that they haven't grown up. Okay, they're still children. They're still have a childlike mentality. They think they got a badge, a gun. They have the power of the state backing them up. So the power corrupts them. Absolutely. You know what I mean? They just become and all of a sudden you have their superiors also that they just take orders from them. They don't like taking orders from anybody. They're very egotistical people. They can take certain directions from people that they respect. But if you're someone that they don't know or don't, they're going to get really irate with you because you're sharing some information with them that they should have known already. And they get insulted. So you got to understand the mindset of these people, folks, is that you're dealing with children, okay? And so when you deal with a child, what do? You're going to start getting really stupid with them and play their childish game? No, you have to kind of be the adult and then try to guide them a certain way, despite the fact that they're going to spit in your face and, do all sorts of shit, right? So just so you understand, my mission here is, hey, Deanne, Sherry. So we got quite a bit. Nice. Good to see people in the chat. I know it's kind of early. But yeah, my mission is essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm going deeper than all auditors out there. I'm actually been following Sean Ross. I'm sure some of you know who that is. I have a lot of new subscribers because of him. But he's actually the original gangster, the original police auditor, if you ask me, in my opinion, because he's been at this for a long time, way before First Amendment auditors came out. He's been exposing the foundations of police, which is all from Switzerland. So if you understand our construct of law and all these kinds of stuff, Switzerland has a big part of how things are done in the world. You look at our police, military, you'll understand even the ports, postal offices, and the banks are all controlled by Switzerland. So if you understand, Switzerland is also, hey, how are you? So yeah, Switzerland just stands for the Sisters of Isis, the land of the Sisters of Isis, which is all pharaonic. It's essentially the base of operations of the aristocrats. Okay, so if you understand what's been happening in the last couple of years, this big event. I won't say anything about it there, but it's all perpetrated by Switzerland. If you understand that all non-governmental organizations, the big ones, are all out of Switzerland, and they have big impact on our way of life. So look at what's been happening in the last 2.5 years. Well, that was perpetrated by Switzerland. Okay. The top pharmaceutical companies in the world are in Switzerland. Okay. So if you look up Roche, Roche, notice it's their symbol, their colors is white and blue. And remember, blue is always referring to the blue war crown of Octagon, folks. That's why the police, the military, they're under the blue war crown against we the people. The police here in Canada, the United States, all over the world are all centralized to Switzerland. And what they are, essentially, they are an unlawful occupation of our lands. Okay, so if you look here in Canada, United States, the native people have been fighting the Crown Corporation for a long time because they invade, they come in with their militaries. And when they leave, they leave the courthouses, they leave police stations, okay, they leave all these things in place to be able to continue to manage their most precious resource, which is human attention, folks. Okay, that's why marketing, Facebook, all the biggest money maker in the world is marketing. It's sales and marketing. Okay, I was in sales for a long time. It's the highest paying, hard working job, or it could be the lowest paying, easy job. Okay, sales, my friends, I'm telling you, people want your attention. That's the biggest money maker out there. Is if you can get people's attention, you're gonna make a lot of money. Okay, and so if you understand this, then the police See if you understand the history of where the police come from. They were the original human traffickers, okay? They're the tax collectors. They're the pimps, the drug traffickers. They originally, that's who they are. If you understand their symbols in the military as well, is that they're all from the Templars. Okay, and once you understand all these things, and then you go and you deal with police officers and constables here in Canada, the United States, and you start questioning them about their symbols and then sharing these things with them, what you're trying to do is plant seeds to make them wake up a bit and say, hey, are you really part of something good here? You're not. Okay, I'm just telling you guys, like, I know there's a lot of good police officers out there. There's good people out there. I know they are. There's good people in there. I know. Unfortunately, the establishments that are put in place are run by Freemasons. Okay, if you'll understand this, Freemasons, they rule everything. They own everything. You look at businesses, things like that. If you understand the symbols, you'll see the consistency. A lot of people here tuning in, I'm sure they're familiar with Sean Ross's work. This is my mission, is to get his work out there. This needs exposure. Right now, we have Rebel News. A lot of places are covering the WEF, right, the World Economic Forum, which is a good start, but they're just scraping the surface. Okay, there's a lot more. It goes deeper than that. WEF, again, with the white and blue, which is the blue war crown against we the people. Pfizer, it's got the blue. WHO has got the blue. You got the UN, it's the blue. The blue is always referring to the war crown, okay, against we the people. They're not there to be at peace with us. They're not here to try to do the right thing and moral thing. It's all about commerce and trade. It's all about maintaining their grip of power on humanity, which is through commerce and trade. Okay, that's how they manipulate and conquer everyone. That's why, people are manipulated to do things against their will, is by saying, well, if you don't do what we tell you, we're going to take your job away, right? Commerce and trade, to be able to make a life for yourself. They're always doing these kinds of threats to people. And that's why people cannot stand and be moral when we work for corporations that are morally bankrupt. It just doesn't make sense. You can't work for an oil company and say that you're a good person. I'm sorry, you're not. You're working for bad entities. Okay, so I'm just saying, I'm not trying to come down. I'm just saying that for myself too. When I worked for these corporations and I found out later how bad they were, I said, holy shit, I was actually helping them make more money, cause more problems for me to make a paycheck. And it wasn't that great, folks. Okay, after the taxes and everything, you're not making that much money. We're still slaves here, folks. So the mission here, folks, is to wake up and realize that we are bonded sureties to bankrupted franchises under the Swiss Vatican crown. A lot of people don't know this stuff. I share this with people a lot of times. People they shut off. They go all weird and stuff, right? Yeah, that's right, Ben Octagon. That's right. I can't wait for them to be gone. But yeah. So, but that's the thing, is that once you understand that and you talk with the police, the constables, and try to be, their allies, right? You're trying to reach out like a human being, like a brother to these people, as much as, so the individual that you're speaking with, you don't know if they've caused harm or while under color of law, right? You want to assume that they're good people and whatever. And then when you approach them, you try to be friendly, nice, and brotherly with them, always, until they prove you otherwise. And then when they get stupid and whatever, then you can, give them the demon, let them know the harsh truths and be stern about it. Don't back off. Don't back away from these people. Because remember this, folks, any constable, any police officers that pervert and then abuse their power the way they do, they're the biggest cowards, okay? Because they got the power of the state to back them up, okay? So they can radio in all this backup in seconds. They're going to have, of course they're going to be mouthy and they're going to get all fresh and then start, pulling this stuff. But as soon as you take away that power, they'll be the first ones in the corner being quiet. I promise, okay? I know. Okay, I've dealt with very dangerous people in my life. Okay, I've been around people, murderers. Okay, I've been around people. I'll tell you, people like the police. They don't scare me. Okay, they don't scare me because you know what? They're in the face of resistance. When there's a lot of people, they'll be the first ones to cower. Okay, I'm telling you. And there's only a small percentage of police that are actually very good people, in my opinion. That's just me. I don't really think nowadays they're not hiring quality people. And unfortunately, if you look at what's been happening in the last couple of years, you see the quality of people we have in the world, folks. Look at our leadership. Look at just your neighbors. Okay, I don't know what you've gone through with all this nonsense that's happened in the last couple of years, but I know I went through a lot of nonsense. I even got to find out who my true friends were and even who my true family was. Okay, and you're gonna find out there's a lot of scumbags in the world. Okay, it's not because they choose to be or whatever. I think it has to do with, what's been happening with our human attention. We've been directed in a certain way to just like not think much of ourselves, to not have any courage, and then just try to be like keep us silent and things like that. And people are frustrated, so they either become passive or aggressive. They don't learn how to be affirmative anymore. And that's what I'm here to share with people: is how to be affirmative. Okay, we got to be affirmative, folks. It doesn't matter how bad people get in your face. You try to be respectful. I failed a few times with my interactions there with the police. There, I got some videos I put up. I was just starting at it. It's just when you're in the moment with these people, you just like my demon inside just rattles the cage, man. It just wants to devour these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're so ugly. The way they act is ugly. It's just like they're shitting all over the fucking painting, and then they're acting like, hey, this look at my beautiful art. Look at this, and you're like, dude, it smells bad. It looks like nasty. Like Mona Lisa that's not a Mona Lisa fucking painting, man. Okay, like stop shitting on the painting. So that's what they're doing, and no one's correcting them. But here I am, folks. I'm here to correct it. I care about them more than their colleagues, whether they know it or not. Is I actually care about them. I actually don't want them to have bad fucking karma. You know what I mean? I'm trying to like be, hey guys, like wake up. Like you're really part of something bad, and what you're doing, especially nowadays with our politicians, they're all fucking answering to Switzerland. Okay, and neutrality. That's the biggest swindle, folks. Okay, they're not neutral. If someone on your street is getting assaulted or raped or whatever, and you're standing there saying, well, I'm not going to intervene. I'm neutral. I don't know what's going on. So I'm just going to let this guy beat the shit out or rape this girl or whatever. Well, you're a bad guy. Okay, I'm sorry. You're a piece of shit. If you're standing by and allowing bad crimes to happen while you're watching, you're just as bad. Actually, the worst kind of evil in the world is not the evil deeds of evil men. Is actually the apathy of good men. That's the worst kind of evil in the world, is when you stand by and do nothing when you see evil. So I'm trying to inspire people. I'm just getting boots on the ground right now. I'm reaching out. I've been in touch with very, very interesting and powerful people, like such as like when it comes to having integrity and courage to speak out against the crimes against humanity that was going on, not only against humanity but the animals, the nature. If you look at nature, the world right now, I'm not a climate change kind of guy. I don't believe it because it's all a political stunt, but I do feel that we need to be more responsible in how we do things in the world. Right now, corporations, our governments are out of control. There's a lot better options out there that we can work on, but they're just not profitable for the aristocrats, the ones at the top of the pyramid, okay, which is essentially the people in Switzerland and, through the Vatican, and then you got the city of London and Washington, D.C., and you got all these little sovereign states all over the world that they're little tax havens, little places for them to have refuge, So I'm just going to read some comments here, guys. I was taught in grade 9 about the birth certificate bond. Now people resent truth. Yeah, well, in grade 9, that's pretty good. I didn't learn in grade 9. I wasn't learning stuff like that. That was like, you're looking at 25 years ago. People hate the truth, not pissing them off. It's like the truth. Yeah. Uvalde, yeah, that was a shit show. That was a good eye opener for people to realize that they're not our friends. So yeah, they are very out of control, Prairie, and that's what I'm here for, is to like essentially show, hey, you guys are not going to be getting away with this anymore, And just to give you an idea, I'm with Rebel News as a camera guy. I'm at the courthouse in Ottawa, and I got Constable Benjamin, which still hasn't given me a lawful reason as to why I can't be in the courthouse, and he doesn't realize he's in big dude with that guy, I'm the kind of guy that's like, okay, man, like, I'll let you spring the traps, man. And all you do is observe and document everything. You get your witnesses, everything. And then when it comes, shove comes to push, or push comes to shove, these people are arrogant. They think they think that they're getting away with what they're doing. They think it's okay. But then they're going to have a surprise one day when they get their notices of intent and liability and stuff. Then the pressure starts pulling in. And then all of a sudden, the auto police services, when they start seeing that it's going to create a bad light for them, you see how quick and fast they start eating each other, right? They'll start eating each other because that's what they are, a bunch of fucking piranhas, cannibalizing piranhas, okay? If you understand police and military, very toxic environment, folks. Very, very toxic, okay? Canada, doesn't matter. Military people, I'm sorry, like I'm just here to tell you the truth, is that for the most part, when they go to war and things like that, like if you ever watch some of the footage there with Ukraine and Russia right now, I don't respect either side. Okay, like, you know, fuck these people. Seriously, like, you know, Ukrainian soldiers, Russian soldiers. You know what they should be doing right now is not attacking each other and turning their guns on their superior. That would be a heroic fucking move, right? Same thing here in Canada. If they're ready to go to Ukraine or like some war, if they're ready to do that, then they better be ready to take down the politicians here in Canada that have been essentially fucking, trespassing against us big time, like right in our faces, and then the police are standing by, letting it happen. Not only that, being their thugs and henchmen for these fucking aristocrats, okay, that work for Switzerland. Okay, that's treason, folks. And here, if you understand Canada, the native people of Canada got a rough fucking deal here. Okay, if you understand, I'm partly native. My family we're mostly native. We have French, English, and native. And my uncle was actually a chartered accountant here in Canada, and he used to help people with taxes, with all the tax laws. And he cost a lot of money to the Canadian government. He passed away in 2012. Some people think they murdered him. I don't know. It could be. But I mean, it's just to give you an idea. Is like when you start, making waves and you don't have enough backup, it's not a good thing. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, folks. Is right now what's mostly important is I'm trying to get attention for Sean Ross, which is from Gure and Chatsafrats and Homeland Security. This guy is definitely a guy to check out. Check out his channel. If you look at my about page, you'll see there's links there to link you to his channel. This guy's been at it for a long time, exposing the real, true criminals in our world. Okay, it's Switzerland. They've perpetrated all the wars. Okay, they fund them all. They finance everything. And just so you guys understand, I have someone very close to me that's been dealing in Switzerland for the last 12, 15 years. About that. At the same time, I was learning with Sean Ross. This person was actually dealing in Switzerland, and sharing all sorts of stuff. When you hear about the Great Reset and all that kind of stuff, I've been telling this since 2015 about the Great Reset. I've been told in 2020 they're going to shut down the economy. There's going to be some kind of big event. They're going to shut down small businesses. Everyone's going to have a hard fucking time because they're changing the economy, folks. They're changing everything towards a quantum financial system, okay, which is essentially blockchain technology, folks. Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff. Not a good idea, okay? Because if you understand, Switzerland, they own the fucking internet, okay? They own it, okay? If you really want to go deep, it's the Wallenberg family in Sweden. They own the NASDAQ. They own Ericsson Mobile, which is the whole internet aspect. And then essentially, if you understand Sweden and Switzerland's relationship, it's all aristocratic fucking shit, man. Like, these countries have been established. If you look at Switzerland and look at Sweden, look at those countries, man. Like, a lot of money in there. Very beautiful countries in the way they're doing, right? So I'm just gonna read some more comments here. People hate the truth. Yeah, okay, read that. Justinian deception. Yeah, that's a good one, Ben. Definitely look that up, folks. It tells you about the land of the dead and the land of the living, and how you want to be in the land of the living. So yeah, very good. Thank you for bringing that up, Ben. Thanks for showing up, guys. I got 12 people in the live chat. That's good. It's good that we don't have too many people too, because sometimes if there's so much people, it just becomes a lot of noise. A lot of freaking people get in. They're just not here for the right reasons. So I want to keep my channel, just so you guys understand. I don't want to be making the channel. I don't want to be live streaming. I don't want to be out there. I want to be doing other stuff than doing this kind of stuff. I actually want to enjoy life, but I can't enjoy life when I see this world collapsing the way it is right now. Like it's in the hands of psychopaths. Like right now here in Canada, he's not our leader. Prime Minister he's just a puppet. He's just a talking head. He represents essentially the Queen, and then the Queen, she represents the Pope. And then, well, if you understand the whole freaking construct, it's just wild that police and military swear an oath, and they swear to the royalists. I remember I have footage I'll show you on one of my if you check out, I think it's Pharaoh Tales, or on my Jesterman channel. I have footage of them like talking about how they serve the royalists and only the royalists and all that stuff. It's like, so how are you supposed to be fighting for rights and freedoms, and like you're the one going overseas to fight for our freedoms, but yet you're just doing it for the royalists? It tells you everything, folks, is that our wars are always perpetrated by the royalists, because it's always like family feuds. First World War was about families not getting along, trying to have a piece of the pie, and because they couldn't get along, they decided to have we, the people, go and fight their wars for them. And then the Second World War is the same thing. If you understand Hitler, what he was all about is he's trying to bring the royalist system back in Germany. because Germany, Switzerland, Austria, that's the Holy Roman Empire, folks. If you understand the history, the Third Reich, well, the Fourth Reich we're in right now, which is there's never been, it's always been the First Reich, because it's always been the Holy Roman Empire. They just changed their location, but it's still the same people, it's still the same system. Roman civil procedures here in Canada, the United States, Britain, all over the world. They conquered us, man. Like, and you understand the history of who the Romans were. They were the slaves of Pharaoh. Okay, if you right across the Mediterranean, you'll see all the history that's happened with Persia and all those places and stuff. And then when they went across the seas and they took over Europe, all the Celts and all that stuff. So it's here we speak, ruling, lording over the world, getting stronger as we speak. Yeah, well, I think they're actually getting weaker, in my opinion. But you could be right, because so many people right now are just, hey, Canadian Auto Talk, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hi from the Netherlands. Yes, I watched Sean Ross for years. You have to do your part. They are psychopaths, and they also infiltrated families. I also do my part. Good on you. I love the Netherlands. I have my cousin. He's married to his wife is she's Dutch, and he has a daughter with her. So yeah, we're very close with the Dutch family, Dutch people. Thank you. I went to the Dutch farmers protest a couple of weekends ago, so I got to meet some nice people. So I wish you guys great strength there. You guys are doing a great thing with the farmers there. I really appreciate you guys. That's what needs to be done. I'll check out Alberta for him. How you doing, Cyril? Good to see you, brother. So yeah, I'm just doing a live stream today. Had some crazy dream. I've been dreaming like crazy, and that's the dreams talk to me, and it's just wild. Okay, guys, so you understand. It's funny, like my name, and everything, and like my purpose. I feel like if you really pay attention in life talks to you. The existence, God, the ancestors, whatever. I don't want to make assumptions, but there's a reason why I'm here. Okay, what I'm doing. It's just funny because my mom recently she made a new friend, and the guy is actually ex Ottawa Police Services gangs unit. UN peacekeeper, all this stuff. The guy's got awards. Very, very high. I'm not going to say his name, and I'm not going to share that with anyone right now until I know more. But what she shared with me is that he's not too happy about the Ottawa Police Services and what they've been doing with the truckers convoy, things like that. So just to give you an idea, guys, like there are good people in the police, and that's why I do this, because there are good people, okay? And unfortunately, what it is that the number is small. Is that there's a lot of like really strong police officers, people that are actually like out there to really do the right thing. And then you have other ones that really want to, but they're afraid to speak out and do anything. And then you have the real scumbags. So what's happening is that the scumbags tend to outnumber the good guys. And what happens is that the ones that are like kind of like really, they want to do the right thing, but then they have fear while they're being, manipulated by the toxicity, right? And so what we're trying to do here is try to get them and show that, hey, don't have any fear. We got your back. We're here for you. We understand. Like, folks, it's not easy, this world, man. I'm telling you, like, it's not easy to have courage and stand up and talk and do these things. It's not, okay? A lot of people say, oh, it's easy for you. No, it's not, folks. It's really not, because you have to deal with people's emotions and the reactions. And then sometimes, these people, they're dangerous. Like, their reactions are, you can end up in jail or even dead because they call the police. They do all these kinds of stuff. Like, really, nowadays, people are very, very, they're not in control. Like, they're really not in control of their mind. There's a lot of cops that don't like what's going on. Yeah, well, that's it, man. There is, man. And like I said, like my mom, she met a friend. This guy seems very, very nice, and he's aware. And not only from today, but he says, like, back when he became a police officer, he shared with my mom that, back then they were community leaders, they were good people, stuff like that. Same thing when my dad was a police officer, my grandfather, they were respected members of the community. Like even like my grandfather, if you go to Elmer, just across the river from Ottawa, there's a street name, it's called Romeo Gendron, that's my grandfather. They named it after him. He was such a, well-respected person in the Elmer community. Same thing with my dad. So, you just not as much as my grandfather, because my father kind of branched out of the police force early. He had problems already with them, the nonsense. My dad was a good guy, like as much as I fucking hated him sometimes, like he was argumentative and authoritative and stuff. My dad was a decent man. He had a lot of good things about him and stuff like that. I still like to smack him sometimes. I can't anymore. He's passed away last year, but just, give you guys an idea, the police mentality, I'm very well aware of it. And what happens is that it doesn't matter how good you want to be, when you go into these environments, it brings you down. And just to give you an idea, I was engaged to a woman. Her dad was RCMP, and me and her brother were great friends too. We used to do martial arts, jiu-jitsu in Plantagenet. And our master was teaching us jiu-jitsu, was RCMP as well. He's the one that trained the RCMP in their martial arts and Nick Impact, and then like diplomats and stuff like that. So I got to really hang out with these people for a good 5 years and understand the mentality. Like they used to share with me like about, the politics and the nonsense, right? And also, like, I have my mom's cousin, she was RCMP as well, and she had to go on sick leave because, bullshit within the toxic environment, right? So it's just to give you an idea, folks, is that these establishments are created not for our safety, okay, folks? You got to understand that we as humans here in Canada and the whole world, when you think of the people that lead and reign and rule over us, they don't look at us as humans, okay? They don't look at us as equals. They look at us like cattle, okay? If you look at all the terms and everything, when you look into the law, you'll see, like, when you're submitting a form and you're registering and all these terms that they're using that we don't understand, well, these are all in terms of enslavement, okay? That we are willingly consenting to our own enslavement by entering into contracts we don't understand. Okay, so if you understand that, then you understand that, well, the police are there to, like, okay, just give you an idea. They're called constables. The reason why they're called constables is because they're the counts of the stables. Okay, do you live in the stable? No, they count the animals in the stables, the horses and all that kind of stuff. They're the counts of the stables. They're there to manage the stables, animals, cattle, which is their money maker. When you look at horses and cows and things, that's how they make their money, through trade, and where they bring their goods. Where it used to be the horses, they used to, and then the police used to protect the goods and all that kind of stuff for the aristocrats. So it's the same thing, folks. Today, you see the wreath that they're sporting, is they're telling you they're representing the crown, that they're there to essentially enforce commerce and trade and make sure that everything goes well through commerce and trade. That's why the truckers convoy and all that kind of stuff was all about, well, they were trying to find out if they're disrupting commerce and trade. And as soon as anything was disrupting commerce and trade, well, they got you, because you're disrupting their way of making money and creating, a livelihood for themselves. So I'm just going to read some more comments here. Yay. Thank you for doing what you do. Roman Empire never fell. It just moved. That's right. That's right. Jiu-jitsu. Yes, jiu-jitsu is one of the best martial arts. I've done it for quite a while. I've studied many forms. And also kickboxing. I've done many forms of kickboxing. I've done Muay Thai and Prado Saray, which, if you understand the history of Cambodia and Thailand, they were all together. If you look at the city of Angkor Wat, a lot of great. Cambodia is a very, very rich country when it comes to ancient knowledge, things like that. So yeah, I've done many martial arts. I grew up. Well, my uncles were not all of them, but I had two uncles who were senseis in karate. So I grew up with Shotokan, Shotoryu, karate. So I'm a warrior. I was raised as a warrior, and I got my mom. Well, she's a killer. She doesn't do any martial arts, but she knows how to scratch pretty good. Okay, and she's wild. Okay, so I got all that from my mom. If she was a man, oh my god, I don't think I'd be alive today. So yeah, are the royalists under maritime law? Well, the royalists are not under anything. They are under their own delusions, if you ask me. But they use maritime law, which maritime law is the law of commerce and trade. If you understand maritime law, it's the ancient merchant mariner lex, which lex means law. That's why my name is Alexi. Well, I got the word law in my name. So yes, even the UDHR, yeah, comes from them, gives us, and they do. Yeah. Well, see, the International Covenant there is it's just, like human rights and all that kind of stuff. You understand, again, rights, what the word rights comes from. It comes from rituals. So you would perform your rites, your rituals, to essentially have your rights. So you have to go through a ritual, perform your rites, RITES, right? So it's all, if you understand even like the symbol, okay? So if you look at the symbol of the UN International Covenant, is essentially the Cyrus cylinder, which was Cyrus the Great from Persia, which is essentially the first king to establish human rights. Okay, so well, if you understand also what they're based upon, their laws is based on ancient Talmudic satanic law. So the ancient Babylonian system is still alive and well. If you understand capitalism, all that kind of stuff, it's Babylonian, folks. Like people, if you just Google search right now, where was the first police force in the world? Okay, Egypt, 2,000 years ago. Okay, it's it's the Babylonians. Okay, if you understand the pyramids and all that kind of stuff, they've taken over the world. Like here in Canada as well. Like people think the natives, they wear the feathers, right? They got the feathers like that, right? Well, it's the crown. It's the crown of thorns. Okay, so same thing why you see the judges. Look at in Commonwealth countries, the judges they wear the big wig, the white wig. It's the same thing. You look at the pharaohs; they got the same thing. It's all the same symbology, folks. So, hello, Charles. Out of 3,000 bill, FTP, OPP, Lanark County detachment arrested the rise and falls for filming in public. Welcome to China. Yeah. Well, I want to talk about that also. Is guys, if you have a chance, please subscribe to the Rise and the Falls, and then also audit. Canadian Audit Talk 101. If you want to audit and things like that, we're trying to organize here to get all these auditors together to build a foundation to be able to hold these people accountable and also shed light on this, and then so we can actually have proper reforms. And if we can actually branch off from the Swiss Vatican crown, folks, we'd be a lot better, and then try to inspire the rest of the world to do the same thing. That's how we need to free ourselves, because they've had a grip on humanity for a long time. Okay, if you listen to the works of Sean Ross, okay, Sean Ross is a very, very important person here in the world, folks. Like I'm telling you, this guy is like, think about Jesus, things like that, those kinds of people in the past. I don't want to make assumptions of, like I know he's not the God's son, okay? Like when people think, oh, he's the son of God, things like that. If you want to think that way, go right ahead. I'm going to share with you that, really look into it more, because it's actually a lot. The information, all that kind of stuff is a lot more beautiful than the story they're telling that he died on the cross for our sins. If you really understand what that means deeply and without having all the spookism, you're really going to appreciate what the Bible has to offer. But hey, Charles, brother. Oh, hey, Axiom, how you doing, buddy? All right, good to see you. We got people from England. All right, good stuff. So yeah, it's just like these things that like right now people really need to dive into, like especially with the internet. Like you don't need to pay for an education, folks. Like I made a video way back where I was talking about like, yo, you go to university. Like I was telling you like 12 years ago, like you don't need to go to university. That you pay $35 a month, you get internet. You get all the information you need at your fingertips. You don't have to go to no library, nothing like that. You just type in, you cross-reference everything, you see what's consistent, what's not. There's so much information out there. Why would you pay for an education, folks? Why would you go and pay for an education that's provided to you by the aristocrats? It's all Jesuit schools here in Canada. It's all Jesuit-founded schools. All universities are Jesuit-founded schools. And if you understand the Jesuits they come from the Freemasons and the Templars and all that, okay? So the Jesuits are later. So a lot of people will say, oh, the Jesuits rule everything. Well, they're just an order that was created, okay? If you understand their history of what the Jesuits are, it's all military orders, things like that. It's all about believing that Jesus was a warrior, things like that. It's the mentality of these people is sick. Okay. Yeah, I just want to say, watch Sean Ross's video. I found them very informative and educative. Good, man. Good, Alberta Freedom. That's good. Like, really get involved with this stuff. I would say anyone that wants to audit, be a police auditor or government auditor, or like I like to call it, auditors for the agents of the Clown Corporation. Definitely learn this stuff, okay? Because your symbols will tell you the story. And then once you know that, you're going to be so powerful when you're dealing with police that don't know their symbols. Because then you can tell them, well, straight up, like, dude, I asked you don't know what your symbols are. Did you know that the law is symbolic? So therefore, you're law enforcement, you don't understand your symbols. Therefore, what are you enforcing, right? So you see how you're creating doubt with them. And that's what you want to do is see, like, when you're dealing with the law and the Crown Corporation, they're always trying to create doubt. But if they can't create that within you, but then you're creating the doubt within them by just simply asking them questions and putting it back at them with common sense questions where they should actually have the answers to, you got them. you know, and it's not about trying to win and beat them and nothing. It's actually trying to get them to realize and fucking wake up and say, like, dude, okay, welcome to humanity. Like, do you not realize, like, you know, like you're getting paid a lot of money and you don't understand your symbols. You sport them every day. You go, you walk in front, you go in the courts, there's symbols, there's all these stuff. The Knights of the Garter symbols are everywhere here in Canada. All over downtown Ottawa, all the government buildings have the Knights of the Garter symbol, which is, you know, Q. Okay, people don't understand. Q is essentially another psyop, which essentially they're using against us to divide us and then get us to go down a path that's really not going to lead anywhere, right? So, you sent me an email address. Is it my Charles.Denime or Pharaoh Tales? Because my Charles Denime is still up and active, so I'll check it again because I know I've had quite a bit of emails and some of them went into my like promotions and things like that because I went and checked and I saw some people had put those emails there instead of being in my private emails. So I'll check it out. I'll actually Axiom Curb. I've been wanting to get in touch with you. I will get in touch with you, my friend. Or actually, if you want to just if you want to share your email, it's up to you in the chat, and I'll definitely send you an email. And if you want, we can do a live chat or do a Zoom call or something like that. It'd be nice to catch up, brother. Yeah, for sure. I really do, man. I really enjoyed our back in those days, man. It was like you guys helped me get through rough times. I was going through rough times back then, so I do appreciate you guys. Started realizing things at the age of 14 years old about the educational system in Canada. I'm 34 years old now. Yeah, well, it's yeah, me too. Like when I was a kid, like going to school, I used to get a lot of resistance from my teachers and my fellow classmates. People used to hate me, man. They used to like be haters on me, man. And I was like, super cool, man. I used to, that's the problem is that guys like myself, I'm tall, I'm pretty easygoing. A lot of people say I'm good looking, whatever. I, don't think a lot of people say I'm Hollywood, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't think that much of myself, but if you think, but a lot of people end up really loving you or whatever, but then people really hate you, especially because when you're speaking truth and you're fucking eloquent in how you say things, and then you don't look too bad. Some people will fucking hate you, man. And I've had to deal with that all my life. I saw my mom go through that. My mom spoke truth and good-looking woman, dancer, entertainer, very people want to be like her because she's so lively and funny and she has good energy, right? So I'm the same way. But a lot of people, when you come around with that energy, they're so miserable inside, which a lot of people are these days. I've noticed. They just hate you for it. They just, they're like, oh, how could he be so happy? And how could he be so, I fucking hate him. He's always smiling. He's always in a good mood. He's always, I've had that all my life, man. I used to go to work, always in a good mood. Doesn't matter what's going on in my life. Like whatever's happening at home has nothing to do with work. And I'm not going to abuse people just because I'm in a bad mood. That's just how I was raised, So I would go to school or work and things like that. Always be in a good mood. And then you'd have people that were just miserable and then just hated you for being such a good energy. It's just weird. Looking at your folder should be there. Okay, you getting censored, eh? I know there's a lot. Like right now, they're actually there's not much censoring as much as it used to be. I've noticed. Just that's from my experience. I hope I'm right about this, but yeah, it's. I know a lot of people have been out there trying to like really get the conversation going about truth and what's going on. A lot of people don't. They're trying to censor us, and what it is that there's people complaining. You have people on YouTube. They see your video, and all of a sudden they're offended by what you shared because now all of a sudden they have to change their life, right? But they say, well, instead of changing their life, it's a lot easier to just go and complain and say, oh, well, we're going to put a strike up on his YouTube channel, and we're going to say that, oh, he offended me, and then that's how they do it. See, it's cowards, man. People that do that, fucking cowards. It's I try to keep love and peace in my heart at all times, but I've come to understand nowadays it's been very, very challenging for me. Like I'm really like, that's why I'm reaching out to people because I can't do this alone anymore, and I've been watching Sean Ross for a long time and I'm feeling frustrated because I'm like, why is it that everybody fucking comments and says, hey, we love your work, love to see you, Sean, blah, 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 but no one really makes any kind of effort to share his work and go out there and reach out to the police and military, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I was asking myself that same question, like, fuck Charles, why are you not going out there? Like, you got a lot of time on your hands. You're just learning this stuff. That's all you're doing. Why not take the time that you have, take that wealth and then go out there? And I know why. It's just, it's fucking challenging, folks. It's not easy. Like, you're dealing with people that, You got Cyril, Rise and the Falls. Check out his videos, folks. I'm telling you, if you have a chance, here, I'm going to put the link right here. I've been watching his videos for a while. This guy's a beast. I appreciate him for what he's doing because you know what? They woke a sleeping giant, I think. And so he's been making a lot of videos. So here. So yeah, here we're gonna. Here's his channel. Really, really, please check him out. Go check out his channel. He's been doing a lot of great work. They're trying to essentially give him 10 years for filming in public. Okay, and you got these OPP constables, which the OPP they're really one of the worst here in Canada is the OPP. I've dealt with them many times in the past. My first traffic ticket was from OPP in Plantagenet, and I was able to get it dismissed. I embarrassed the OPP officer. He was just so embarrassing. Even the Crown Attorney or the Justice of the Peace was kind of upset. He's like, as if he wasted my time with this, right? So, yes, great respect to Mr. Sean Ross. It was his birthday the 25th of July, and I just found out about the 25th of July being a very interesting date. Santos Bonacci did a nice video about that. If you check that out, actually, I'll share the link right now. But yeah, it's sorry guys, I'm just Astro. There he is. Yeah, man. So okay, well, I can't find it right now, but okay, so well, I'm in touch. Not me. I'm in touch with Cyril. I speak with him. So yeah, he's told me pretty much everything. I'm going to help him be able to fight all that stuff because essentially what they're doing is they're just trying to apply a constitution without, always remember when you go to court, the first thing you always challenge folks is jurisdiction, always. And if you understand the law here in Canada, throughout the whole world, is that we're all sovereign. You have to recognize if you show that, hey, look, I'm a sovereign. Okay, meaning that it's not that you're saying that you're above the law or anything like that. It's like you're saying that you're a sovereign just says that you're a responsible human being that doesn't need people telling him what they can and can't do in life. That's what it says. That's all it is. That's when you're saying that you're sovereign, is that you're saying that you're responsible, that you're in touch with yourself, that you know who you are, and that by doing so, that you walk a path and you won't cause any harm to people. And if you do, that as a sovereign, you want people to bring it to your attention that you have enough integrity within yourself to say, hey, if I am doing something harmful, please bring it to my attention because I strongly feel that I'm an honorable, loving, and kind man. And if I'm causing harm to someone, I want to be made aware so I can correct myself, right? So that's why you want to claim a sovereign, that you're showing that you're responsible in that sense. So when anyone comes and brings a claim against you, you say, all right, well, you're making a claim. I want to believe what you're saying is true because I don't think that someone's going to come and make a claim against me for no reason, right? You want to assume that, hey, why someone's protesting your actions is because you're actually bringing harm to them, actual physical or, financial or whatever kind of harm, right? Okay, if you're calling them names, I would never recommend, don't call people names, folks. It doesn't matter if they're being stupid with you. Don't get into that habit. Just, always stick to truth. But I mean, when someone's coming and making a claim against you and they're saying that you're causing them harm, well, the respectful thing to do is to hear them out, not to start shut up or whatever, right? So the police right now, if they're bringing a claim against you, well, then you say, okay, no problem. I'm willing to accept all that. What's the evidence of fact that you have to back your claim that I'm causing harm? And then now it's their opportunity. If they have anything, they'll be able to provide it to you, right? But if they can't, if they don't have anything, then at that point, is that fair to you? You say, well, I want to correct myself. You tell them I'm doing something wrong, but I don't know what it is. So therefore, I can't correct myself. That's not fair. That's not fair to me. You see how you got to play it, folks? You got to play in that sense is that you're always honorable, that you're responsible, that if someone's coming to talk to you, that you're going to consider what they're sharing with you, that you're not going to dismiss them. You don't treat them the way they treat you. See, the police, they dismiss everything. They try to, you bring up, you actually have evidence. You know, I've had many interactions. Like, hey, I got evidence. I got, you know, and they don't want to hear it. But all of a sudden, someone else has just got their word. They have no evidence, but they're going to hear them out, and then they're going to go and act on their assumption. It's like, no, that's not how it works, folks. And so that's why it's important. Do not play that game that they play, because then you're falling into their trap, and then they get you, because they'll beat you with experience, folks. I'm telling you. If you're a good man or woman, don't go and play the evil game. Don't play their game. Fuck, it's just simple. That's how they get you every time. If they get you to become irate and out of control and start, you know, bickering back at them, well, now they can say, well, see, look, he's out of control. Blah, blah, blah. They used to do the same thing to me when I was a kid. When I was getting bullied in the schoolyard, they used to antagonize, and I used to like take a lot because I used to fear my mom's whoopings more than anything. Okay, so I didn't fuck around at school. I didn't fight. So I used to, you know, I just go until eventually I would blow up, right? And that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you outside yourself to not be in control of who you are. So therefore, they can maintain control over you. Oh, see, oh, he's not sovereign. He's not in control of himself. Look, oh, you know, if you understand our system of law, that's what it's all about. Is that we're all considered unwell. Why do you think you sign an X when you go vote? Who else signs an X? Is people that are illiterate, people that are not able to take care of themselves. They're going to sign an X. They're not going to sign their name because they don't know how to write. And isn't it funny? I think, isn't it England? When you go to vote, you go vote in the ward. Where do we keep people in the ward? Insane people that are unfit to take care of themselves. So they're telling you straight up in your face, folks, if you just read and understand the symbols and the language and the words and things like that, you understand that they're always trying to get your human attention. And the way they're trying to get your human attention is into a system of slavery, okay? That's going to work against you, but it's going to work for them, that they got you by the balls. And that's why, see, the world is fucked up the way it is right now, is because we're all slaves, folks. We all have the slave mentality. You ask police, you ask a lot of people, oh, I'm just here for my PP, my paycheck and a pension. That's not a human being's will. That's a slave mentality. Okay, folks? So, you know, that's the thing I'm trying to help people break free from, right? You know, it's like a lot of people say I look like John Wick and Jesus Christ and all that kind of stuff and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe I do. And that's what I'm here for, is to help people free themselves from the matrix and all that stuff, right? To, you know, and I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. Like, I got so many people I'm grateful to that actually paved the way, shared the information, put it out there. I've listened to them like for years. Like, all I do is I listen. I got my laptop is on all the time, and I got stuff always playing in the background about the law, about symbols, about all sorts of interesting things. I don't listen to movies very often. I don't watch nonsense. I'll play video games sometimes, and while I'm playing video games, I got a video playing in the background. I'm listening to very, very intelligent stuff, right? So I'm just going to read some comments here. All right. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope I'm not losing anybody with what I'm sharing. I hope I'm helping people understand things. If you have any questions and things like that, please do not hesitate to email me. I can also talk on the phone with you if you like that better. I like to be more personable with people. So, all right. So, got to keep your temper under control when filming. I've learned to do it, especially when filming the cops. They try to get. Yeah, that's right, man. You're right, not me. I totally agree with you, man. And see, like, if you ever see some of my videos, my first, like, they were not intentional for me to audit. It was just I was helping my friend out with his obstruction of justice charges, and by trying to help him out, I got, you know, police officers and people that are just acting stupid, and I was like, holy shit, like, you know, like this is real, like, you know what I mean? Like, even myself as a guy, I'm very, very easygoing. I like to talk with people. I've been in sales. Like, anybody that knows me will tell you, Charles, a super nice guy, very, very polite. Everyone always said to me, I was always a polite guy, always polite, always kind, always respectful. That's me. Doesn't matter. Even if you get stupid with me, I'll still be respectful and kind to you. But, you know, that day, the few times when I dealt with them, like, I was really not in a good place. My father had just passed away. You know, I was going through a lot of shit, especially with what's been going on with the last couple of years. I've had my share of bad experiences. So, you know, when you bottle up a lot of stuff, eventually, like, you can't handle it. Like, I just, you know, I handled it all right, but it could have been a lot better. You know what I mean? And so I got him on video. I got him dead to rights. Like, I mean, you know, if you saw the video of like the public employees there, how they were acting, these fools, they don't realize, but I haven't forgotten about them. I'm going to be holding them to account. I will be filing a claim of trespass against the courthouse for them trespassing me unlawfully. There's going to be hell to pay. There's going to be a lot of noise being made. That's for sure. And that's the thing. I'm trying to avoid things to get violent here, folks, because right now, just the frustration that I'm dealing with, I don't want to act violently with anybody. Okay. But if someone's going to push it to the point where I have to, they're going to pay my fucking trip. Okay. Because if I have to defend myself and to that point, I will. Like I'm not one to initiate violence on people, but if someone's initiating violence on me, I'll defend myself, and I'm very capable of defending myself. Okay. I'm very, very capable. Okay. I'm not, it's not that if I can toot my own horn. It's just all my life I've had fights. I've fought fucking people all the time because people are stupid. They want to get violent with me. And I always give them the opportunity. It's like, dude, you don't want to go there with me. You don't want to go there with me. Like, let's keep it cordial. Let's keep it talking. Let's be friends, But they don't take heed in my warnings. They think I'm such a nice guy. How could I be a killer, right? The nice guys you got to watch out for, folks, because we're the ones that we're cool, we're calm, we're collected, we'll have a lot of patience. But just because we have patience and we're kind doesn't mean we're weak, folks. Okay, it actually means the total opposite. Okay, the fact that I'm actually able to still have love and peace in my heart for the police right now, considering the bad behavior that they have, that's strength, folks. Okay, that's strength. Okay, even the people out there that see what's going on, that they're holding back from wanting to hurt these people, that's strength. Feel good about that and keep that going. Do not let them turn you into acting a fool and playing their game of being a thug. Okay, do not do that, because then they'll get you, and then also it'll hurt the movement, because then they'll be, oh, see, this guy is an auditor, and look, he just see, you can't trust them. See, they're all bad. And that's the problem. You got these people that really don't think much of themselves, and they just don't want to think and do any kind of research and look into things. They're comfortable, and don't disturb their comfort, because then they're gonna come after you, right? Don't undo their lazy boy chair and take away the remote control and their popcorn, because you're gonna have fucking problems. I promise, right? So. Defund the police, yes, absolutely. What we need to do is a big reform, and they can't be calling them police anymore. They can't be called police, because police is telling you they're policy enforcers. They're not there to enforce law. Law enforcement is, when they call themselves police and then on another breath they call law enforcement, is like it goes against each other. It doesn't even work. So, say actually admire his calmness. I will probably lose it. Well, that's the thing. It's when you're in the face of adversity like that, especially like you have people that have the power of the state. They have the monopoly on violence, folks. Okay, it's intimidating, because at any time, like if they want to use violence on you, like you can't defend yourself. You can't. You have to go through the motion of them molesting you, of touching you and feeling you. That's why they're called cops, because they like to cop a feel. It means to be a thief. That's what the word cop. That's when they call cops. You're calling them a thief. Not only a thief, you're calling him a sexual thief, someone that likes to steal and cop a feel on you. That's why they frisk you and touch you all over, because a lot of them are actually very sexual. You'll notice, like the women, the men in police. I was in the Army Cadets, okay? I did that for what, 4 months, and then I went to Canuck Range, which is like a military base outside of Ottawa. And, I was like 15 or 16 at the time. And oh my God, like the sexuality that was going on, not just among the cadets, but even our superiors. Wild, folks. Like, and like if you ever hear like a lot of these people, like, a lot of these jocks, they act like all tough and stuff, but they when they look at each other, and they're locker room homosexuals. Let's put them that way. And it's like, hey, whatever, man. You want to be into that? That's your thing. I'm not. I'm not into that. No, thank you. But you'll notice a lot of these people are sexually confused and also sexually insecure. That's what I'm trying to get at. Maybe we're not watching the same video. Will you do more live streams? Yes. Oh, yes. I'll be like I said, I'm not a fan. Like, I'm doing this. It took a lot for me to want to do a live stream today. Okay. The reason why is because I've been having crazy dreams, and I feel like I got to get things going, right? Because I'm really like, I don't want to be doing this stuff, right? But yeah, I will be doing a lot of live streams and also be sharing more videos. I'm working with the rise and the falls there with Cyril. He's going through some hard times there, so I want to really help him out because it's not right what they're doing to him. I'm going to shed some light and put the story. I'm going to share his videos as well. I know he gave me permission, but yeah, I'll be putting up all of his videos for people to see what's going on in Smiths Falls and Perth. And then I think there's another part he was talking about, but yeah, like these are things that are very important. When you got someone like Rise and the Falls that comes on the scene, that's, you know, this guy's pretty good at video editing. He's actually got the right attitude. You know, it's important for us to reach out and offer support. Okay, because you know, he reached out to me and to offer support too. So like, you know, we're that's what we need to do. You know, and reach out to people that you know. If you know people that are in law enforcement, that are friends or family, or you know that you have family or whatever that have family in law enforcement, you know, put some pressure, let them know, like, hey, like right now, Canada, we're under attack. Like, we're under attack. And what's happening is that the police are being used as a weapon against us. Because, you know, they've hired a lot of people for the last 20 years. You can tell the Ottawa Police Services, man, like, it's bad. The OPP is bad. RCMP is bad. I've been seeing it for years. Like I said, folks, I've been watching and doing this stuff since way before First Amendment auditors came on the scene. Okay. First Amendment auditors, I'm so grateful to them. Like, they came on the scene, they're strong, and they keep coming out. But a lot of them, what they're doing, and it's good what they're doing, but there's a lot of things they need to really learn and to apply to actually maximize their success. Because they're talking about citizens and using all those terms and stuff like that, using the Constitution, things like that. Which, look, guys, stop referring to the fucking Constitution as a Constitution that you fall under. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You can refer to it if you want to hold them accountable, the agents of the Clown Corporation. You use that Constitution to bring it to their attention that no, you have to respect that, because under your own edict, under your own swearing an oath to, they have to. But it doesn't apply to you in the sense that, oh, well, the Constitution says I have the right, but no, it's you're not understanding. If you're saying that, and that's why I want to bring light to this. I want the First Amendment auditors. I want all the people that are auditing the police right there. I want you guys to be the absolute best at your craft. That's all I'm here for. I'm here for support. I'm not here to shit on anybody. I'm not here to criticize any of these people, because these people are courageous. I think they have a lot of integrity inside of them for them to pick up a camera and go and do what they're doing. That's like, to me, it's like, you're a warrior. Okay, so you have my vote no matter what. So if ever I'm saying things or whatever that makes you feel like I'm coming down on them, it's not about that. It's actually, I care about them. I want them to have success, and I feel that the best way to have success is by applying what I've learned all these years. And I'm still learning this, folks. I'm still learning. Like, it's still a learning process and learning and things like that, right? So let me read some comments. Greetings to you from. All right, Dana. Nice. Well, it's funny. My brother's name is Dana. I know it's funny name for a guy, but yeah, his name is Dana. I've been watching people like you and Sean Ross that talk about the Swiss, and I believe they are somewhat correct, but I believe they are not completely sane either. Okay. You think that Sean is not sane? I think you would understand if you were persecuted in oxygen deprivation. I know Sean's sometimes, he seems to be an odd fellow sometimes, but I've spoken with him. I've actually done a radio show with him way back in 2015. And yeah, like when you go through some shit in life, you appear to be a little wacky to other people. But that's just what happens when people fuck with you. So Broca, I've had free speech doesn't apply to either by fighting, screaming, shouting, swearing, singing, or using insulting or obscene language. Well, of course, like, you got to be responsible with your speech. I mean, you can't use free speech and threaten that you're going to kill them, right? That's, you have to be responsible with your your speech, because your word is, just remember, words, and then you take the S at the end, put it in front, it becomes a sword. So depending on how you use your words, just like, look, a judge, his words has bearing, man. If he, judges whatever and sentences you, his words, that's the jurisdiction. That's what jurisdiction means, is the word is the law. That's what it means. Juris, which is law, diction, which is the word. So essentially his word is the law. So yeah, you got to be careful with your words, because, you can enslave someone. You can really hurt people with just your words. When people make false accusations, right? If you accuse someone of being a pedophile and you have no evidence and there's no, truth in what you're saying, what are you doing? You're actually causing that man or woman harm based with no evidence. And now people are going to say, oh, really? Well, now they're going to have doubts without any evidence, but you're causing harm, right? So you got to really be careful with your words. Absolutely. That's why there's libel and then defamation lawsuits, things like that, because you cannot just say what you want about people without actually having evidence to back your claim. You can't go and accuse someone and say that this is not whatever without having, like, you can if you have your truth, right? You can say it, but if you have no evidence of fact to back your claim, and then you keep going around spreading that information and you have no evidence, well, people are going to be like, well, look, you have no evidence. Your assumptions, I want to believe you, but I can't just go on your assumptions. That's not fair. You wouldn't be fair to you, right? You don't want someone to just be able to put you in jail based on the fact that just someone said so, that you were this and that. That's not how the law works. Just to give you an idea, I used to work for Farm Boy, and I remember having a conversation in the lunchroom about homosexuality. Okay, and I just got on the topic, and if you look up in medicine and stuff, they consider homosexuality to be a disease. Okay, it's right there. So we're just talking. I was just kind of sharing that with this girl, and she was getting insulted and upset that I was saying that. I was like, listen, I said, I'm not telling you this because I think it's, I think if you're homosexual, in my mind, you're really not well. There's something wrong. Like it goes against nature. That the reason for your sexuality is to reproduce. Well, if you're homosexual, you're not going to be able to reproduce. So therefore, you're unwell. There's a problem somewhere, isn't? It's just like, hey, if you have thinking or you're depressed and things like that, there's a problem. You're at a dis-ease, right? It's not to bring someone down. It's not to say, oh, you're a horrible human being or anything. No, it's just observing and realizing something that is just, it's truth, right? So because I said that, well, someone, I guess, overheard me or whatever saying that, and they got insulted, and I guess they were homosexual or whatever. So they went and told management. And then when I was going to go into manage the next day, they were going to write me up, and like without any kind of trial or anything, like I couldn't even face my accuser. I said, no. I said, you guys can't do that. You can't just accuse me and then say I can't face my accuser, and then you're going to write me up and I'm going to have something. I said, that's not how it works. I said, you want to have a lawsuit, then do what you're doing because you're going to have problems. Well, they backed off. They understood what I was saying, but see, they try themselves, right? But that's the thing. You cannot go. You have to have evidence, folks. That's why cameras are so important right now. When you go and you film with the police, when they start getting stupid with you, all you do is stay cool, calm, collected. Try not to be, emotional like I was in my videos. Just say what you got to say. And it's okay if they're threatening you. You say, okay, well, because you're threatening argumentum ad bacillum or the threat of kidnapping, I will leave. Don't ever say, oh, they're threatening to arrest me. So don't use their terms. Just always use it in the sense that bring it to light that, hey, you're threatening to kidnap me. You're threatening to assault me based on the fact that you think I don't have the right to film in public or whatever fucking reason they want to come up with, right? But that's the thing. You got to make sure that you always stay, cool, calm, and collected. Because then when you go to court in front of the judge, in front of everybody, the court of popular opinion, people are going to say, fuck the guy. Hey, I would have fucking lost it on the guy. Yeah, no, I'm on his side. Well done. See, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to, the court, you try to stay away from the courts, but what you're trying also to do is, like, especially with YouTube now, we don't need the courts. We have the court of popular opinion now. Okay, we have an equalizer, which is our live streaming, connecting with people, and then, making these videos and then saying, hey, this is not acceptable. And if you have enough people tuning in, watching these videos, and then calling in and sending emails, they're going to get flooded. You think, what do you think is going to happen to the people, the dispatchers, the people that actually have to answer for the misdeeds of their constables? Well, those people are going to say, hey, that video that came up, you didn't act right. Look, I have to answer all these emails. I have to deal with all this fucking nonsense because you guys don't know the law. So you see how you're getting the infighting going on, and then you're putting pressure within their own department to weed out the fucking bad people. And that's how you got to do it, folks, and show that you're there for them, that you're actually there for those actual good employees that actually represent the police and our governments that in the right way, that actually are good. You're showing that you're there for them. And once they see that, hey, fuck, these guys are on our side, they're gonna come to your support. They're gonna come to your aid. And that's what you're trying to do, is do like Alexander the Great. He had more allies than he had enemies. Okay? Seduction over destruction, folks. You use seduction, try to be nice and good and whatever kind, and showing that you're not easily manipulated into becoming irate. You're gonna be powerful. No one's gonna be able to fuck with you. I promise. They're gonna try. Don't get me wrong. They're gonna try, But in the end, the long term, you're going to win. And it's not about winning with them. It's winning with yourself and with God and your ancestors and truth. That's what it's all about. It's not about popularity and, oh, I'm a great guy. I'm a legend. Look what I did. No, fuck. Please, spare me. If you're looking for glory in this world and attention and stuff, fuck, I wonder what's wrong with you. Because I used to be one of those guys. I used to want to go in Hollywood and be an actor and all that kind of stuff. And I came to my senses and like, okay, yeah, that was all bullshit. That was all illusions. That was all nonsensical shit that I was attracted to. Why? Because I didn't know who I was. Like, fuck, I was lost, you know? So, language police now. What? Probably also insulting or... They can't use that against me, bud. They can't use that against me. Like, not in the lawful matter. They can probably say, oh, well, look, he was like... But people will say, well, look, man, he was assaulted. The buddy grabbed my phone. It's not the first time that he's actually assaulted me and like trespassing me. He's saying it's his property. So I have every right to call him out and tell him to go fuck himself. It's just not the best approach. That's all, right? So they can't arrest you for, like, I'll share with you, Citizens Broadcasting Corporation, Cooperative. I do appreciate what you're doing out there and stuff, but your approach and things, I would definitely suggest that you change a few. Don't dress up the way you do. I know, like, you're trying to probably keep your identity and things like that, which I understand, but like, dude, like, I appreciate what you're doing, but at the same time, like, you got a lot to learn, my friend, about the law. You're going around, using the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all that kind of stuff. You're just going to get yourself in more trouble because you're playing their game with them, right? So, and I want to help you with that, bud. Like, I really do. Like, that I'm not saying this to put you down or nothing. I actually appreciate you, man. I think what you're doing is great. It's just, there's ways you got to do it that's going to be more effective, right? And I'm learning this as I go, right? And this is from years of, like, I've got, education and, cognitive skills, emotional management, mediation, contract. I got all these things. I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of programs and learning things like that, especially when it comes to dealing with people. Like when you socialize. Because working in sales, I've done it for a long time. I used to do door-to-door, things like that. Like, you really have to learn how to use your words and your tones and things like that, and how to be, someone that people want to listen to you, right? If you're going around and you're always yelling and screaming and have a certain tonality in your tone of voice that people get annoyed by, no one's going to listen to you, right? So it's just about really mastering your craft. Is that when you're doing this kind of work, is you're going to be kind of like a politician, if you will, but for truth. Politicians are there for lies. We're there for truth. We're there for transparency. We're trying to, like, essentially shed light upon a situation that's very dangerous right now. Okay, it's very dangerous because if we don't wake up, unfortunately, it's going to have to go to violence, and I don't want to go there. I really don't want. I'm trying to avoid all that stuff. But the way things are going in the world right now, I can see. It's been a long time since. In this part of the world, we've had a revolution, and I don't want it to go that way. If there's going to be a revolution, let's make it peacefully, and by reaching out to people, to our brothers and sisters in law enforcement and the military and governments, and then just saying, hey, man, like, we've had enough of this. This is not acceptable. Whatever you're going through, maybe their hands are tied or they're feeling frustrated that they can't do anything about the situation themselves. They're aware of it. So, by having the conversation and, put it out there, you're actually going to create some allies. You're going to make some enemies, but you're going to have some allies as well, right? So, look at ours. Dude, I don't really look at these statutes and codes, my friend. I really don't. To me, it's just coding. It's like, if it's like, I don't do any computer programming, and it's like you telling me, go look at these codes, because what they do with these codes, it's all confusion. They're written in a way to confuse you. Okay, so I don't really go there, but, like, that's why I say to people, do not read from that Constitution. Okay, like, fuck, please stop, guys. Like, that the Canadian Bill of Rights and the Constitution of 1982 and the International Covenant, they're all, like, you need to understand the 1982 Constitution was created to fall in line with the UN, with the International Covenant, because our Constitution was outdated. We didn't have private in Canada. We didn't have individual rights. It was all about the collective. The Constitution of 1867. So, anyways, yeah, like the Constitution in Canada, the United States, when you're referring to the First Amendment, all that kind of stuff, To me, it's just noise. It's really not. It's not going to be my tool to be able to win the fight because you're using their game. You're actually playing. It's like they're asking you want to play Monopoly with me, and you say okay, but it's like, dude, they're going to beat you because they're going to cheat. They're going to be the banker. They're going to do all this stuff, right? So don't play into their game. That's all I'm saying. Don't play Monopoly with them because they're going to, when you start going into citizen, you're calling yourself citizen. Well, a citizen means you're a slave, my friend. That's what it means. It's essentially is exactly what it means. You're part of the Holy Roman Empire, and you're under the kings and the priests, and it's under the divine right of kings, and you're a slave under the Holy Roman Empire, and you're supposed to do everything for the betterment of the Holy Roman Empire. That's why when you look at the crown and what that signifies here in Canada, it's all about making a better society, things like that. But it's all about really commerce and trade. It has nothing to do with morals and values and doing the right thing. It has to do with commerce and trade, business. If you're costing money to a business, then it's like, well, it's monetary loss. Doesn't matter. Whatever other things is that they're going to side with the business. Same when I got trespassed from the LCBO at Billings Bridge for no lawful reason, just for like simply not wanting to have fucking toxic substance put on my hands. Okay. Well, they tried to apply the Trespass to Property Act to me, which doesn't apply. They need to provide the evidence of how that applies to me. Codes and statutes is special interest laws. It's all commerce and trade. Common law, common sense. You don't need a fucking piece of paper to tell you what right and wrong. Common sense will prevail. When you get to a stop sign, you stop, right? When you don't go punching people in the face. You don't spit in people's face. You don't throw your garbage out on your front lawn. Like, these are common sense things that everyone fucking knows. You don't need a piece of paper to tell you how to act. So I just want to read some more stuff. I'm a slave. Yes, that's right. Well, essentially, you can still use the certificate without being a slave. It's just understanding how to use it. That's all. That's what it is, man. Because you can go into the cemetery, right, and leave the cemetery. You're not dead, right? Well, according to them, it's like, well, if you go into the cemetery, well, you can't leave. Well, no, you can always leave the cemetery. You're not dead, right? So if you're alive, you can go in the land of the living, land of the dead. You can go visit your dead relatives, right, and you leave anytime. So that's how the law works. If you understand, when you're looking under the Constitution of Canada, you're going into the land of the dead, corporation. You're going into a place where you have benefits and privileges. You don't have rights and freedoms. Benefits and privileges are accorded to slaves. Okay? You're a slave when you have benefits and privileges. That's it. That's what it is. So, cause of disturbance in or near public place by fighting, screaming, shouting, screaming. Yeah, see, those are things, of course, man. Like, you don't want to be, those kinds of things. You can't be going out in public swearing and call it like, you know what I mean? You're causing a disturbance. You're making people kind of like uncomfortable, right? So yeah, of course you can't, but then you can't go and tell people, well, because I'm filming in public that now I'm causing a disturbance, which is like, look, there's cameras everywhere. Everywhere you go downtown on Bank Street, downtown Ottawa, there's cameras everywhere. So if I'm filming, well, then what's your prejudice against me filming when there's like how many businesses on the road that are filming everywhere 24 hours a day, right? Common sense questions, right? How am I causing a problem because I'm holding a camera by myself? What prejudice do you have against me? Well, it's because they're assuming that you're using the footage in a nefarious way. Well, it's all good that you have all these assumptions, but whatever it's the fact, you have to back your claim, right? So these codes suck. Yes, yeah, no, that's what I mean. Cyril, is that don't go with those codes because a lot of them, what they do is they're confusing. They're like kind of like contradictory, and they're made to be confusing. For them to like really, pull the wool over your fucking eyes. Because once you understand these codes and they're saying, well, this applies, they say, well, fuck, whoa, okay, explain this to me again, and then you don't understand. And now, like, you're really not focusing on the true objective here, folks. So, your views on Jews, you mean Jewish people or the government? The Jews, well, see, the Jews, they're not really called Jews. They're actually Judean people, the jaywalkers, like Sean Ross likes to call them. Yeah, like, you have to understand the Hebrew people, the Judeans, were the first ones to be enslaved by Pharaoh. So they're the first slaves of Pharaoh. So a lot of people think that Jewish people control everything, whatever. But the reality is that they're the biggest slave of Pharaoh. So a lot of the things that are being pushed onto them is really not them. It's always behind all the things in the world. It's always Switzerland. Switzerland's always got their dirty little fingers in everything, like Sean Ross likes to say. And it's true. It's true. In Breaking versus Fort Erie town, court considered whether the town of Fort Erie was justified in issuing a trespass notice against a man who had made town employees feel unsafe. The court held that the trespass notice violated of the Canadian. Yeah. Well, yeah, because under their own. See, they brought a charge against you, and then they're under that constitution. So they're wrong in bringing a charge because then it was going against their own codes, right? So that's how you get them, right? So it's like a double whammy. So you can get them that way. And then also you can get them in the other sense through common law and common sense, saying, well, if you're using a statute law to commit fraud against me to violate my fundamental rights and freedoms, then see that's another notch against them, right? So not only under their own codes that they're violating, but they're also violating moral law, God's law, that you should not be using a statute law to commit fraud to have an indictment against someone and to cause them harm, right? If someone's just filming, their purposes, you don't even know what their purposes are. They're just going around filming because they think the building's nice, or they're just, whatever the intentions may be. You can't go on, oh, well, because he's filming, he's making me feel uncomfortable. Now all of a sudden, that's deprive him of his rights, put him in a cage, and treat him like a fucking criminal. It's not logical, right? It's just not cool, right? And anyone that does that kind of stuff, like, really needs to be corrected. In my opinion, not necessarily my opinion, it's a fact. Like, anyone that starts, the videos I've been watching about you, the Rise and the Falls, all these things, man. Like, I watched it, like, oh, dude, like, you're dealing with really backwards people out there, man. Like, really bad. Breaking versus series, agree. We are being filmed everywhere we go, yet we are not allowed to film. Exactly. Well, see, the corporations have all the freaking, discretion and all the freedoms in the world, folks. They can, with all the, you saw what happened there with all the mandates that's been happening and stuff like that. Like I said, it's commerce and trade, the police, the government. They care about the business, because Canada is actually a bankrupted franchise, which is a business. Okay, Canada, all countries in the world, they're not countries. They're businesses. They're actual fucking businesses. They're corporations, bankrupted ones at that. And all the people that live under those bankrupted franchises are considered bonded sureties to those bankrupted franchises. And the only true corporation is the Swiss Vatican Crown. That's the only true corporation in the world. Okay, everything else is just bankrupt. It's all under the Swiss Vatican Crown. The three crowns. If you understand, read up about here. Actually, I'm going to share a link here. You guys should read this. Where is this? Come on. Where did I put that? Okay, never mind. I can't find my link anymore. But yeah, like, if you read about the Holy See and the Pope and the Vatican City, how they have three titles they go from. They keep jumping from one title to another. So they have the Vatican State, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Holy See. Those are the three titles that the Vatican holds. And the Pope has two titles. He's the Vicar of Christ and the descendant of the Apostle of Peter. And if you understand who the God of the Bible is Ptah, P-T-A-H, which is Ptah. So essentially, the Ptah, which is essentially also your hypothalamus, which is your mind. So, everyone's got the mind. Everyone's using God's tool to create, is the mind. Okay, everything is mind. So what, if you understand the Holy See, the Holy Roman Empire, the Vatican, they believe that they have ownership over consciousness, because that's why they're called the law of the sea, the law of the water, the Admiralty law, which is the law of the sea, which is water, which is consciousness cannot exist without water. So if you understand their symbolism and their whole thing behind it, is that's what they're making claims is to the Holy See. See the police, they wear the wreath, RCMP, all that kind of stuff. They wear that, is showing that they actually are representing of the Pope. And the Pope is considered infallible. He cannot make any mistakes. And so if the police and the Queen are under the Pope, which are representing of the Pope, which cannot make any mistakes, well, why do you think we're getting this kind of attitude from them, that they're pushing around and then they have no accountability? Our politicians keep lying to us and there's no accountability, because they're infallible, folks, because they represent the Pope, which is, that's them. They made that declaration. They've made that, and then they're going on that assumption. And we, the people, don't know any better, and we're just going along with these assumptions. Look at all the police. They're wearing sporting fucking symbols that means that they're slaves, but they don't realize that. They think they're sovereign. They think they're super powerful, but they're the most enslaved people in the world. Is the police and the military. Most enslaved people, 100%. They're managed. Have a nice day, Brenda. Okay, I'm going to move to Switzerland this year. Oh, really? Fuck yeah, good luck with that. A lot of turmoil is going to start happening. Lunchtime, I got to run, Charles. Okay. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming in. Well, I've never been told to return off my camera by violence workers to their credit, threatened with and charged with false crimes, but they've never told me to stop recording. Well, you're lucky, buddy. That's good, but yeah, I've seen some of the interaction there. They're in Toronto. They're goons, man. Yeah. Friends, consciousness is electric. Yes, it is. Other citizens, on the other hand, what you get charged with? The CBC, corporate trespass. Okay. 1 hour in cuss for a $50 ticket. Yeah, right. They should pay you for your time. They purchased your time. I'm just going to read as much water as outside the bubble. Good luck. Fallibility of the Pope doesn't mean he can't make mistakes. It means the Pope tries not to do mistakes and be an example of saying. No, that's not what it means, my friend. Is that they claim to be infallible? Okay, that's what these people are not good people, buddy. So they're claiming to be God essentially, and that they're infallible and everything they do is okay and whatever. That they've done this for a long time. So thank you, just amazing life. Thank you, Deanna. Cherry Amore, too. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the shout out. Appreciate that. Plasma storm coming. Prismatic sovereign. Okay. Indeed, that storm hit already, eh? Yeah. Well, we're in a storm right now. Magenta and purple are the signs. Be interested in your interpretation of the fleur de lis. Well, the fleur de lis is essentially referring to the lotus of the River Nile, which is from Egypt. Also, there's many other references also to the bee, but really it's the lotus of the River Nile, and that's where it comes from. So it's pharaonic. That's why the French, if you understand French nobility, they use the fleur de lis. It doesn't mean because you're French. It's just because all nobility spoke French. So if you look at Europe, all constitutional monarchies of Europe, their second language is French. The diplomatic language of the world is French language, and the diplomatic capital in the world is Geneva, Switzerland. So, yeah, if you understand the fleur de lis and who the French are, well, the only true king in Europe was the King of France. All the other ones were constitutional monarchies. So that's why essentially it's pharaonic. It's all referring that these kings and the queens, they're the bloodlines of the ancient pharaohs, which are essentially believed to be from the sun. The Aryans means the ones that are born from the sun. You tune into Sean Ross to learn more about this stuff, folks. Like I said, you're going to be doing some auditing and getting out there. If you're not learning Sean Ross's work, you're really not going to get a lot of success. I'm just telling you. You're not really going to understand the depth of evil that we're dealing with. Okay, like evil, like these people are just very insecure people that are ruling and reigning over us. But just to give you an idea, like Switzerland, bad place. Become gods. Well, see that, the Masons. See, the belief of the Masons, what they think is that they can't see God, but they can see His work, right? And by seeing His work and studying His work, they believe that eventually they can impress God, and eventually become gods, Which I think it's not a bad mentality to have, like, because you want to become better, right? Like, when you have children, you want them to become better than you, right? You don't want them to be in your shadow. Is that you bring children to the world, you say, okay, I'm going to make sure they have all the support they need to become better than what I was. So I think if you think of God and the Almighty Creator and things like that, I really think that that comes from that, is that God created us, and I think in some way He wants us to become better than what God is, and also by learning from us, He becomes better or she becomes better, right? Like, these are the things you think about, right? Like, you want to become a better man every day. You don't want to go back to your old bad ways, right? That's the best thing you want for your children. So. What's the center of world power inside Switzerland? Which canton or which organization? Well, as the Freemasons essentially come from Switzerland. So essentially, if you understand, the Knights Templars founded Switzerland in 1291 after the Crusades, and then they stopped over in Egypt there on the way back, and they became richer than all the kings and queens in Europe. And essentially, that's and then so you understand who the Templars are. They're the second, third, fourth born of nobility. So they always go to the monastery because they don't want to go among the people and work. So if they're not with if they're not with nobility in the castles, then they go into churches and then become, missionaries and things like that. And so the Templars, that's what they were. And then eventually, they wanted part of the power. They're all struggling for power, and there's a lot of skullduggery going on, poisonings, things like that. So to quell all that, to maintain the peace within the nobility, the Aryans and all them, because they knew if they kept fighting each other, they would lose the grip of control over humanity. They decided to create peace within each other and create a new system, which is Freemasonry. So that's where it comes from, is Switzerland. So if you understand what you're talking about, what you're asking is essentially it's the cantons. Well, there's I think there's 13 or 7 cantons. I can't remember, but anyways, I know they have 13 heads of states and 7 cantons, which is all referring to the Whore of Babylon, which rides the beast, which has got 7 heads and 13 horns or something like that. So yeah, Bilderberg Group. Dude, you could dress up as Christ. Yeah, right. A lot of people say that to me. They say I look like Jesus. Everyone, that or John Wick. It's like, okay, well, good. If that's the case, if people want to, give me more credibility because of that, great. I'll use it to my benefit, I guess, to humanity's benefit. I don't compare myself to the creator. No, why not? I spent the day in Zurich. It was very cool. It's a beautiful city. Oh, it's very beautiful, Switzerland. A lot of beautiful stuff going, right? So God made man his element. The only difference is we haven't learned all his tricks. Yeah, well, that's it. We're here to learn, I guess. I mean, we can make all sorts of assumptions about, but I think really what the main thing is try to be a better man, a better woman than you were yesterday, and try to be of assistance to existence and other people's lives instead of being of resistance to it, right? So it became a Freemason in Switzerland. Well, thing is, when you become a Freemason, you got to remember that they seek out different kinds of people, right? So guys like myself, they seek out guys like myself because they know we're pretty powerful. That we don't really, we're not like little slave mentality guys, right? So they'll seek us out because they want us to work for them because they know that, hey, we're pretty powerful. We can make a lot of damage to them. But also they seek out very weak people too. A lot of Freemasons are, you'll see that they're not very intelligent people. They're just, they're just qualified in something, and then they're just useful for the fact that they're qualified in a certain area to be able to do whatever work they need them to do to further their own agenda. And that's how it is, if you really think you're part of a brotherhood that really cares about you as much as they really don't care about you as much as they care about, their intention and the mission and whatever. Because when you think about people they're going to say, oh, we're brothers, but then they got all sorts of, evidence against you that if ever you go against the brotherhood, they'll ruin you, right? Is that the kind of brotherhood you want to be part of? I don't know. Not me. I want to be part of a brotherhood and people that actually care about each other, that we don't have to threaten each other with, oh, well, I got you having sex with a little boy there, so if ever you go against us there, we're going to use that against you, and we're going to ruin your career. That's not organizations and brotherhoods and societies that you want to be part of, folks. If you're a man like myself, which I don't engage in those kinds of fucking nonsensical behaviors, I try to, I practice a good lifestyle of eating well, taking care of my health, taking care of myself very well, so I'm able to take care of other people. I'm not going to be a burden to other people. A lot of people right now are smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, eating crazy, stupid foods, and they don't realize that, when they're going to hit their 40s or 50s, they're going to become a burden to themselves and other people around them. I don't want to be that guy. Right? I'm 42 years old right now. I look pretty good. I feel pretty good. I still got some health issues and things like that. But I mean, I'm trying to be a good man every day as I live, right? So, what do you think? Okay. What is your take on Trump? Just one of them. Yeah. Well, see, if you look up his coat of arms, look up Trump's coat of arms and understand that Trump means tromper in French, which means to wrong or deceive. and his name is Donald, which is Adonias, comes from the Hebrew Adonias, which means Lord or Master. So he's the Lord or Master of deception. So Trump's really not our friend. He's owned and operated by very, very rich people. So how can he make decisions for us when someone else owns them? It doesn't make sense. I was on the Trump train for a while because when he came out, man, I was actually like, wow, he's going against the media. He's actually talking truth, talking about the banking, all these kinds of stuff, thinking about locking up Hillary and all these things. He's like, oh, all right, like, let's give it a shot. And my uncle was dealing in Switzerland for a while, and he was telling us about how Trump was supposed to come in and all this kind of stuff and how he's one of the good guys. And I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And the more I go far now, it's like, no, they're taking too much time because they created all this hype, okay, with the Q and all that kind of stuff. They create all this hype, getting people excited that, oh, this is going to happen. And then when it comes time for it to happen, nothing happens. And they keep doing this over and over again. You know what that is? That's called torture with hope. Okay, so what they do, they give you hope, and then they take it away. And they get your hopes up again, and then they take it away. Until eventually what happens is that you don't fight anymore, that you're hopeless. You have no more hope, that now they can leave the cage, the door to the cage open. You'll never leave because you've tried to escape many times, hoping that you were going to get away because they made mistakes. But the whole time they kept setting you up for failure and that you're going to get freaking, your hope is going to be gone. There's the movie there, The Dark Knight Rises. There's a part where Bane talks about that. He says, you can't have true despair without hope. That's why in the jail there, they're in that hole. He says the reason why there's a hole is for people to have hope, to think that they're going to see, they're going to be able to make it out there. And eventually what happens, they have despair. And when you have people that are in despair, you have perfect slaves. And that's what they do, folks. They get us to be in despair. Like they get our hopes up to eventually take it away and put us in a total state of despair. So lose the son as well. Well, yeah, exactly. He's an aristocrat. He's part of look at his coat of arms. When you talk about him colluding with our supposed enemies in the east there, that are at war there. They talk about collusion. Well, it's funny. If you look up Trump's coat of arms, you see there's a two-headed birdie bird. And if you look at Russia, well, on their flags and a lot of their symbols, you see the two-headed birdie bird too. So what does that tell you, folks? The signs and the symbols says everything, folks. And most people are symbolically illiterate. They don't understand the signs and the symbols. It's like this. Try to go driving your vehicle now without understanding the signs and symbols on the road and see how far you go without causing an accident, right? So the same thing goes in the world, folks, is that if you don't understand your signs and your symbols, you're not going to understand the language that they're actually lying to you in your face, but they're telling you that they're lying in your face. And that's the biggest thing about it, is that it's so an insult, is that, yeah, see how stupid we are, humans? They're telling us right in our face with their signs and symbols. They're sporting the same symbols, but acting like they're against each other, but yet they're sporting the same fucking symbols, just different little colors and different little flavors here, but it's the same thing. But yet we're going to believe that they're actually at odds with each other and they're enemies, and then we're going to go fight their wars for them. It's ridiculous, man. I'm trying to break free from all this. So you understand, I got both my grandfathers were in the World War II and the Korean War, and there were victims and all that. All the people that went to war and World War II and all that stuff, they were all victims. They were all lied to, told to go and hurt people that never did anything to them. They should have turned their guns around and shot their superiors. That's what I know. Not what I believe, is what I know. David Icke, I don't listen to him anymore because I appreciate, like, he's been out there for a long time, really sharing all this stuff. A lot of people say he's controlled opposition, he's Freemason. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to back that claim. But yeah, I just I can't listen to him anymore because it's always the same thing now. I've heard it. I've heard it before. His message is always, just say no and rise up, humanity, and that's like, yeah, okay, but like we know, but it's just like now, like what other solutions do you have to offer, David, other than rising up? Like, what are we supposed to do to rise up, right? Like the solutions are like, what I'm sharing with you guys today. These are the solutions. Get boots on the ground, get your cameras, get GoPros, get spy cams, go out there and then start asking questions to your city council. Start, bringing light to the fact that police don't know the laws. Bring light to the fact that what's going on here. Like, the Crown Corporation, what is this, like, that we're all bonded shirtsies? Like, I'm hearing about this stuff, and like, what's going on? And have you heard about this stuff? Just get the conversation going with these people, because remember, the people in government, military stuff, they're compartmentalized. They don't know what's going on. They just know what they know. They just know what they're told. So, great analogy. A plasma storm coming. Research plasma storm. Okay, I'll check that out. Prismatic Sovereign. How do you win a war? You play both sides. Yeah, well, that's it. That's what Swissy does. See, they always play both sides. My grandpa was too old for the war, but our government appropriated our land for the war. Yeah, there you go. See, that's just to show you, if you own your land, folks, how can the government appropriate it? Right? It's to tell you, we don't own our we don't own your land. Like, if you say that you have a mortgage and you own your home, you don't. You're lying, because you actually, if you're paying taxes, things like that, you don't own your property. You're holding property, but you're not owning it. And people think, oh, capitalism is best, blah, blah, blah. No, we're under communism, folks. It's just we're being duped into thinking that we're free, but the fact is we're under communism. Canada's a communistic country. The United States is a communistic country, because we're all bonded sureties. We're all belong to the state. We don't own property. We're considered property of the state. So that's communism, folks. Kaiser made the English monarchy. The German people also are the main ancestry of the U.S. Yeah, that's true. There is a lot of truth in what you're saying there. We've been managed for millennia in between plasma storms. Okay, I'm going to have to look that up to see what you mean, Prismatic Sovereign. That's interesting what you're sharing. The Aryan race has been special throughout history always. Yeah, well, they think they're special, but they're not. They're very insecure people. High ground and out of the city. Yeah. Well, I want to get out of the city too. I live right in Ottawa, and I'll tell you something, man. It's pretty bad here. So, holy shit, I've been on for an hour and 41 minutes. That's crazy. Okay, folks, I gotta get going. But listen, I really appreciate you guys coming in, listening, and sharing. Whatever you guys have to share, please share it with me. I'm just learning as I go. I'm just offering what I know about my path, what I've learned and accumulated over the years. I'm not better than anybody, you know what I mean? I try to humble myself. The reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is not to get praise or views or anything like that. I actually don't want the attention. I'm trying to get other people to feel inspired and have the courage to go out there and, get in numbers. And if there's more people that come with me, I'll be more courageous to go out there, because I'm alone, folks. I've been trying to do this alone, and I'm getting nothing but resistance, nothing but silence or violence, man. And it's getting frustrating. I need assistance. I need people to back me up here. And it's not really about sharing the videos as much as it is getting out there and having a conversation. If you're gonna make videos, have the videos, live chat, things like that. Having a conversation about what's going on about the law, and understanding what our construct of law is made of, and how to fight, and how to really reach out to the people that are in positions that are causing a lot of problems right now. So I really appreciate you guys coming in. Next time I always do these kinds on I don't really set it up ahead of time. I always just say, I'm going to do a live stream. I do it, and hopefully people show up. If not, it's okay. A lot of people watch my videos after, so that's okay. So anyways, thanks guys. I appreciate you all coming in from all over the world. I appreciate you. I love yous. I wish you nothing but the best. May we all break free from our chains of enslavement. All right, guys. One love. I'll catch you later. No, I'll just read a few things there. Hope you don't see there's a community party of Islamic one in Kanukistan circling the thank you, the citizens broadcasting. Thanks for the chat. Peace and love and thanks. Knowledge is power. Yes. Also, take a look at Lucis Trust if you haven't yet. Yeah, actually, I looked into that a while back. I'll look it up again. There's also the Trust of Saint Germain, where a lot of people there with the Q movement are believing in Nesera Gesera, which is another. Saint Germain is another Freemason. It's funny. I have a park right down the road from me. It's called the Park Saint Germain. Just funny. I live on Chapel, right down the street from All Saints Chapel, All Saints Church. It's funny. So, all right, guys. I love yous. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one.